Yes, sir.
Speaker, on the last question, on the State of the Union, we did see numerous outbursts from Representatives Boebert and Green during President Biden's speech. As I'm sure you probably remember, when Congressman Joe Wilson yelled "You lie" at President Obama in 2009, the House actually passed a resolution of disapproval on that. We haven't heard any talk of that now, but I'm wondering just what is your reaction to those outbursts? Should any action be taken, and what does it say about this process?
Let me just say this. I agree with what Senator Lindsey Graham said. Shut up. That's what he said to them. I think they should just shut up.
The IRS issued what is called plus-up payments in addition to the initial direct deposit of stimulus checks last year for millions of Americans. Overall, folks, if you received your full amount, then here, know this. In advance to the third stimulus check, you will not qualify for any more money when you file the return, and you do not claim the recovery rebate credit. And the big news is even that President Biden said the Build Back Better is close to passing the Senate and delivering relief to people who have struggled during this time. Joe Biden is sticking to his assertions that passing his Build Back Better agenda will help rising inflation. And during a press conference this week, Biden actually said if you're a working class family, it hurts. And that's why his Build Back Better plan is here. Families are getting clobbered by the cost of everyday things. And it's great to see that the deal, everybody, is going to be reached very soon by members in Congress, because we all know that they should be doing a better job on this, and stimulus payments are definitely needed by so many people. So it's great to see that a deal is going to be reached soon, and Biden is meeting with actually several executives from all over the country, and they're discussing the U.S. economic recovery and that it's leading the world. He even said that Build Back Better is going to provide millions of dollars in relief. So folks, at least we have something to look forward to. Yes, lawmakers are finally beginning negotiations on the next round of checks. This is for low and middle income households. So pay attention, folks, if you're ready to receive stimulus money, because if you qualify for this, I believe that President Biden can get it done, and that means we'll get a stimulus check sooner than later, which is something that everybody wants to see. Over the past few months, the push for more checks and even monthly recurring payments has increased significantly. This is as it becomes clear that the crisis isn't going anywhere. Mitt Romney of Utah is one of the many lawmakers that have pushed a Republican-friendly version of the expanded child tax credit payments. This is actually in hopes that he would be able to gain bipartisan support on the monthly stimulus checks. Romney has just proposed a new plan that would affect millions of people. According to CNN, Senator Romney's new proposal would reinstate the direct monthly payments that many parents used for 6 months, 6 months last year, to cover the cost of food, clothing, and childcare, all during that time. However, there are several parts of the bill that Romney has added. Romney's form of extra monthly payments would actually add strict work requirements and cut programs that provide assistance to vulnerable people. This would also make significant changes to this tax code. While the additional work requirements and the reduced safety net programs could be tough pills for Democrats to swallow, a bipartisan bill would be the fastest way for the expanded monthly child tax credit to be sent to President Biden's desk for his approval. And a senior GOP aide familiar with the proposal said that Romney has largely worked with fellow Republicans on this plan, but conversations with Democrats have increased recently. And that's some good news, everybody. We all know that many families are struggling to get by right now, and it's definitely time for both the Democrats and Republicans on both sides of the aisle to step up to the plate and help the people in need. According to the GOP aide, I think momentum is growing quite a bit, and there's actually more interest because folks on the right want to do something. I think folks on the left, are realizing if they don't do it bipartisan, it's not going to happen. So Republicans, Democrats have to work together to get this job done, and it only makes more sense for this to happen.
Thank you. Chairman Brown, Ranking Member Toomey, and other members of the committee, I'm pleased to present the Federal Reserve's semi-annual monetary policy report. Before I begin, let me briefly address Russia's attack on Ukraine. The conflict is causing tremendous hardship for the Ukrainian people. The implications for the U.S. economy are highly uncertain, and we will be monitoring the situation closely. At the Fed, we're strongly committed to achieving the monetary policy goals that Congress has given us: maximum employment and price stability. We pursue these goals based solely on data and objective analysis, and we're committed to doing so in a clear and transparent manner so that the American people and their representatives in Congress understand our policy actions and can hold us accountable. I will review the current economic situation before turning to monetary policy. Economic activity expanded at a robust 5.5% pace last year, reflecting progress on vaccinations and the reopening of the economy, fiscal and monetary support, and the healthy financial positions of households and businesses. The rapid spread of the Omicron variant led to some slowing in economic activity early this year, but with cases having declined sharply since mid-January, the slowdown seems to have been brief. The labor market is extremely tight. Payroll employment rose by 6.7 million in 2021, and job gains were robust in January. The unemployment rate declined substantially over the past year and stood at 4% in January, reaching the median of FOMC participants' estimates of its longer-run normal level. The improvements in labor market conditions have been widespread, including for workers at the lower end of the wage distribution, as well as for African Americans and Hispanics. Labor demand is very strong, and while labor force participation has ticked up, labor supply remains subdued. As a result, employers are having difficulties filling job openings, an unprecedented number of workers are quitting to take new jobs, and wages are rising at their fastest pace in many years. Inflation increased sharply last year and is now running well above our longer-run objective of 2%. Demand is strong, and bottlenecks and supply constraints are limiting how quickly production can respond. These supply disruptions have been larger and longer-lasting than anticipated, exacerbated by waves of the virus, and price increases are now spreading to a broader range of goods and services. We understand that high inflation imposes significant hardship, especially on those least able to meet the higher costs of essentials, like food, housing, and transportation. We know that the best thing we can do to support a strong labor market is to promote a long expansion, and that is only possible in an environment of price stability. The committee will continue to monitor incoming economic data and will adjust the stance of monetary policy as appropriate to manage risks that could impede the attainment of its goals. The committee's assessments will take into account a wide range of information, including labor market conditions, inflation pressures and inflation expectations, and financial and international developments. We continue to expect inflation to decline over the course of the year as supply constraints ease and demand moderates because of the waning effects of fiscal support and the removal of monetary policy accommodation. But we are attentive to the risks of potential further upward pressure on inflation expectations and inflation itself from a number of factors. We will use our policy tools as appropriate to prevent higher inflation by becoming entrenched while promoting a sustainable expansion in a strong labor market. Our monetary policy has been adapting to the evolving economic environment, and it will continue to do so. We've phased out our net asset